Hello and welcome back to Wealth Practices. Today we will go into Taoist philosophy. So let's get started. Introduction. The name Taoism, or, in the older Wade-Giles transcription scheme, Taoism, refers to a cultural, intellectual, theological, and textual heritage that dates from around 500 BCE to the present. The origins of this ritual have been traced to Laozi, a possibly mythological figure, Wade-Giles, Lao Tzu. Laozi is also thought to be the author of Taoism's most revered scripture, which was titled after its putative author and eventually given the honorific title Tao Te Ching, Wade-Giles, Tao Te Ching, meaning the classical scripture of Tao and its efficacy. This manuscript is now widely regarded to be an anthology of previously orally transmitted pieces. The earliest existing manuscripts date from the late 4th or early 3rd centuries BCE and only contain fragments of what became the canonical text. The current Textus Receptus can be traced back to the editorial work of philosopher Wang Bai, 3rd century CE. The second foundational Taoist text is Zhuangzi, Wade-Giles, Shuang Su, named after the author, as supposed by current philological research, of the first 7 chapters of this text, known as the inner chapters, which are also considered to represent the philosophical core of the entire book. In the 4th century BCE, Zhuangzi lived. The following 26 chapters of this book are later editions of varied materials in subject and style linked to Zhuangzi's works. The current Textus Receptus can be traced back to the 4th century CE editor Guo Shang. The main body of what has been dubbed philosophical Taoism is made up of a number of additional books or parts of books produced, collected, and edited between the 3rd century BCE and the 3rd century CE, including the Liezi, the Huainanzi, and the Wenzi. Philosophical Taoism differed from religious Taoism. The latter word referred to a form of organized religion that emerged in the 2nd century CE. Zhang Daling was the leader of a significant religious, economic, and political movement at this period. Taoism has been practiced in various forms throughout the Chinese cultural hemisphere, and more recently, globally, since this period. The difference between intellectual and religious Taoism has recently been attacked as arbitrary and is no longer widely accepted in the academic world. On the one hand, the distinction had been utilized, by Western academics, to establish a hierarchy between a purported high culture of Taoist philosophy and a bastardized, popular version of it that took the form of religious superstition. On the other hand, the distinction tended to marginalize the religious aspects within Taoism's so-called philosophical wing, while also turning a blind eye to the fact that its writings formed the core of the vast scriptural canon that evolved throughout the history of the so-called religious tradition. Thus, this article will merely distinguish historically between ethical components of early Taoist literature, Laozi, Zhuangzi, and others, and practical, or applied, Taoist ethics of subsequent centuries. What exactly is Taoism? The definition of Taoism is a source of consternation for many individuals. Many religions will gladly impose judgment and dogma that, in the end, define a person. Taoism reverses this. It begins by presenting a truth: the Tao is unfathomable. It then teaches that everyone can discover the Tao on their own terms. When most people want extremely precise definitions in their lives, a teaching like this can be quite difficult to accept. Starting with yourself is a simple approach to begin learning the definition of Taoism. Here are 3 simple first steps to learning Taoism. Don't get caught up in the meaning of Tao, this will come later naturally. Discover what Taoism is. Taoism is a philosophy as well as a religion. Taoism should be understood as a system of beliefs, attitudes, and actions geared toward service and living in accordance with one's nature. Simply embracing oneself is the path to learning Taoism. This results in inner tranquility. Live your life and figure out who you are. Your nature is both changing and constant. Instead than attempting to overcome life's myriad paradoxes, learn to accept your essence. Taoism practice. Taoism teaches people to go with the flow of life. Taoism has become many things to many individuals over the years. Taoist practice has hundreds of varieties. Some of these practices are intellectual in nature, while others are religious in nature. Taoism makes no distinction when it comes to labeling its nature because doing so would confine a person. We are all a mash-up of several truths. Taoism teaches us to embrace life in ways that benefit us as individuals. Taoism teaches people to live from their hearts. Here are some easy starting points for living as a Taoist. 1. A set of basic guidelines can be useful. However, guidelines do not decide how to live. Rather, Taoism teaches that through living, you will manifest your nature. My principles are as follows. 2. I assist those who are expanded manifestations of my nature with caution. 3. Be loyal to me. 4. Connect to the world in the way that I would like to be treated. 5. Connect with others who are not like me by taking meaningful action. 6. No action is required for those who refuse to accept me for who I truly am. 7. Allow them to be themselves while I remain silent. 8. I own nothing. I am only a passing caretaker of things that are not of my nature. Discover a collection of routines that can help you keep your mind, body, and spirit engaged and strong. Remember that practices should complement your essence with activities that are appropriate for the time. Your life practices will end up being a constantly shifting combination of activities based on your needs. For example, I practice martial arts to maintain my body strong, yoga to make my body subtle, meditation to clear my mind, biking around simply to fly, and poetry to examine. All of these are my evolving practices to nourish my essence, and each one teaches me something new about myself in the world. Take your time, relax, and simply explore and poke about. Taoism has no intentions. Taoism is centered on trusting your instincts and following your gut feelings. It's the pause in a breath, where each step of living becomes visible for your broader life to enhance and build on. When deciding on a probable next step, smile. Smiling opens up opportunities. When you need a break, take a deep breath. Because breathing is being at one with oneself. Alternate the two, and your route will become free and clear for you to explore for the rest of your life. Despite its simplicity, you'd be amazed how many individuals are unable to grasp this most fundamental part of Taoist practice. People believe that it cannot be that simple. Taoism is actually that easy. If you follow and practice step 4, you will not only have everything you need to fully embrace Taoism, but everything is possible within this simple practice. Most people, however, require time to let go of expectations. So it's also acceptable to delve deeper into Taoism. Taoism contains various levels of teachings on purpose to enable people from different walks of life pass through life peacefully. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe and like the video. We hope to see you in the next one.